Jimmy and Teeter are two underdogs who have quietly earned a special place in our hearts. Out of all the unforgettable faces we've come to know in the Yellowstone universe, through blood, dust, and raw emotion, they were not always taken seriously. They did not have it easy, and they were not born into power. But that's exactly what makes their story so powerful. They've stumbled and struggled, but they've always managed to get back on their feet. Even though their journeys weren't the most exciting, they were some of the most genuine, emotional, and deeply human. Jimmy, the troubled individual who found meaning through hard work. Teeter, the unfiltered fighter who demonstrated she was just as tough, if not tougher, than the men in her immediate environment. These aren't just characters. They're mirrors of resilience, of what it means to fight for identity, belonging, and growth in a world that rarely gives second chances. And now, things are about to change. With the Four Sixes spin-off finally on the horizon, Jimmy and Teeter are stepping into uncharted territory, not just geographically. For the first time, they're not background players. They are front and center, prepared to tell a story that's going to change the Yellowstone universe in a big way. For two of the most unexpectedly beloved characters in the franchise, we're talking about a brand new stage, brand new rules, and a brand new setting. This isn't just a continuation, it's a rebirth, a bold new chapter where the stakes are higher, the challenge is tougher, and the personal growth even more intense. If you thought you knew Jimmy and Teeter, trust me, you've only scratched the surface. So keep your cool. Let's dive into what's coming next for these two trailblazers, why their stories matter more than ever, and how the Four Sixes could become the most game-changing series in the Yellowstone legacy. I found myself thinking a lot about Jimmy while I was working on this video, where he started, where he has been, and where he is going. It occurred to me how impactful his journey has been, not only as a cowboy, but also as a human being attempting to establish himself in a harsh, unforgiving world. I mean, who could forget the moment he first arrived at the Yellowstone Ranch? He was devastated by life, entangled in bad decisions, and completely lost. He lacked any real sense of direction. He was broken, insecure, and full of doubt, as well as inexperienced. He honestly gave the impression that he was only a few seconds away from giving up on himself. However, it was precisely this that made watching him so powerful. Although Jimmy's development was not easy or pretty, it was real. He got knocked down again and again, but every time he got back up, with a little more strength, a little more grit. Slowly, painfully, he became something nobody expected, a man of honor, a man who rose to prominence through sweat, scars, and unwavering determination. Not by taking shortcuts, but by consistently showing up, prepared to be humbled, eager to learn, and open to change. Jimmy matured over time into a capable cowboy, but more importantly, he matured into a person who comprehends the true meaning of loyalty. He's no longer the awkward outsider just trying to get by. He is a man who has demonstrated his place in the world, not just on the ranch. And now he's about to face the biggest challenge of his life. Jimmy will play a role that will define his future in the upcoming Four Sixes spinoff. We are talking about one of the most well-known and historic ranches in the United States. Here, tradition is strong, and only the best of the best survive. Jimmy is not merely traveling to Texas. He's entering a whole new arena, where everything he's learned will be put to the test. Let's face it, this is more than just a change of scenery. This is a shift toward leadership. Nothing will be given to Jimmy. He will have to earn every ounce of respect. At the Four Sixes, the Cowboys don't play around. They are sharp and experienced, and they care only about who you are now, not who you were. This is why I'm excited. If we've learned one thing from Yellowstone, it's that Jimmy never backs down. Although he may not be the loudest or most courageous, he possesses something even more significant. Heart. The kind of heart that's earned, not given. Of heart that inspires myths. What do you think? Is Jimmy truly qualified for the Four Sixes? Is he prepared to step up, take charge, and establish a new identity far from the Dutton Ranch? Whether or not he's ready, the next chapter of his story is already moving forward. And if what we've seen so far is any indication, it will be honest, heartbreaking, and absolutely unforgettable. Now, I know opinions on Jimmy have been mixed over the years. He was misunderstood, reckless, and occasionally frustrating to some fans. Sincerely, I get it. But growth doesn't occur in a straight line. It's messy, it's painful, and Jimmy's journey has never tried to hide that. That's what makes his arc so powerful. We've seen him fall, burn, and rise again, out of sheer determination and heart. And to me, that does make him worthy, not just of the four sixes, but of leading his own legacy. If you disagree, please let me know in the comments. I welcome it. But I'll say this, Jimmy is no longer that lost, awkward kid who couldn't stay on a horse or follow orders to save his life. He now has scars, he has tenacity, and perhaps most importantly, he knows where to go. He recognizes himself. That inner compass, that's going to be his greatest weapon at the four sixes. Then there's Emily, an aspect of Jimmy's development we can't ignore. Their romance is more than just a love story. It's a reflection of Jimmy's growth. He found someone who sees him not only for who he was, but for who he could be. In the midst of the chaos, violence, and unpredictability of ranch life, that kind of connection doesn't just happen, it's earned. But let's be honest for a second. It was hard to watch Jimmy choose between Emily and Mia. It touched me deeply. It was sloppy, and at times, truly heartbreaking. Both women were caught in a tug-of-war between Jimmy's past and his future. Emily believed in the man he was becoming, while Mia held on to the boy she once knew. It felt too real, which made it frustrating to watch. Because which of us hasn't been there before? Caught between safety and growth, fear and optimism. Thankfully, the writers knew when to bring that chapter to a close. Jimmy's decision to finally marry Emily wasn't just romantic, it was a declaration. A moment that screamed, I know who I am now and I'm ready to move forward. That kind of emotional clarity is rare, especially in a world like Yellowstone, where vulnerability is often seen as weakness. Jimmy chose growth by choosing Emily. And in doing so, he showed us that he's no longer afraid to fight for the life he wants. That mindset, that drive, is exactly what it will take to thrive at the four sixes. Because let's be honest, this ranch is its own beast. The rules are different. The pressure is higher. The expectations, through the roof. Jimmy won't just be learning new skills. He'll be tested physically, emotionally, and mentally on every level. But the beauty is, he's not alone. Emily is right there beside him. Not just cheering him on, she's more than just a love interest. She helps him stay grounded. She reminds him of who he is when the weight of everything starts pressing down. She's his anchor, his compass, the person who will keep him steady when the storms hit. And in a world as unpredictable as the four sixes, that kind of bond might just be the key to his survival. So as we look ahead, ask yourself this. Are you ready to watch Jimmy rise? Not as a side character, but as a man finally stepping into his own story? Because I am, and I have a feeling it's going to be an incredible journey. Let's face it, Jimmy is fantastic. But if we're being completely honest, Teeter is a major reason why many of us are counting down the days until the four sixes spinoff. Teeter has been a force since day one. She's the kind of character who enters a scene and immediately shifts the mood. There's no filter, no fluff, just raw strength, fierce loyalty, and a don't mess with me attitude that commands respect. I've always admired how unapologetically herself Teeter is. She's brave, tough, and heartfelt. And let's not forget, she held her own in a world dominated by rugged men, proving time and again that she was just as capable, if not more so. Losing Colby left a noticeable void in her story, and I'll admit, I wasn't sure how they were going to keep her narrative alive without him. But her decision to join the four sixes and travel to Texas, that was a powerful move. It showed she's not stuck in the past. She's ready for a new chapter, one where she defines her future on her own terms. The absolute storm of energy that Teeter is bringing with her is what really gets me excited about her presence at the four sixes. This kind of energy is going to turn the entire dynamic on its head. The four sixes isn't just any ranch. It's a legendary institution, a place where tradition, precision, and order reign supreme over every inch. It's the kind of place where every cowboy knows their place in the hierarchy. However, Teeter enters loud, proud, unfiltered, and absolutely unbothered by anyone who underestimates her. She's electrifying because of it. She's chaos wrapped in authenticity, and she doesn't just shake the system, she challenges it. She's going to make people uncomfortable. She'll upset people, challenge preconceived notions, and force those around her to confront the kind of cowboy culture that desperately needs a new perspective. But that disruption, that's her superpower, not a weakness. Teeter is the kind of character who forces growth. She drags people out of their comfort zones, whether they like it or not. And at a place like the Four Sixes, where everything has been done a certain way for decades, she's exactly what they didn't know they needed. And let's not forget the emotional heartbeat she brings through her bond with Jimmy. Their relationship is one of the most underrated gems in the entire Yellowstone universe. It's not romantic. It's not traumatic. It's real. The kind of ride or die loyalty you can't fake. Jimmy and Teeter are like siblings forged through fire. From late-night barn talks to fights that almost ended in fists, to quiet moments when they just understood each other without saying a word. They bicker, they tease, they drive each other crazy. But when it counts, they stand shoulder to shoulder, no questions asked. And that bond? That's going to be one of the emotional anchors of the Four Sixes spinoff. Because while everything around them might be new and intimidating, they're each other's constant. They've seen each other at their worst. They've helped each other rise. And now, in this new frontier, they're going to rely on each other more than ever. However, we can't pretend that the transition will be simple. This is the Four Sixes, the big leagues. The Cowboys here are elite. No matter where you come from, the expectations are sky high. Even if you carry the Yellowstone name, respect here is earned, not given. Jimmy and Teeter are entering a world that doesn't owe them anything, and might not even want them there, to be honest. That means early mornings, grueling days, and mistakes that could cost more than just pride. It's going to be physically brutal and emotionally draining. Every win will be hard-fought. Every setback will sting. But if there's one thing we know about Jimmy and Teeter, it's that they don't quit. They don't give up. Storms that would break most people have already passed them by, and this time, they've got each other. What excites me most is that they're not just here to survive. They're here to redefine what strength and resilience look like at the Four Sixes. They're not coming in quietly. They're bringing heart, history, and a whole lot of hell yeah attitude with them. And if Texas isn't ready for it, well, too bad, because change is coming, and it's wearing the Yellowstone brand, whether the Cowboys like it or not. To me, what makes this next chapter so thrilling is that it's not just a continuation, it's a bold expansion of the Yellowstone legacy. The shift to the Four Sixes Ranch feels like we're stepping into uncharted territory, but with characters we've grown to love and trust. And the fact that Taylor Sheridan owns the ranch in real life, that's not just a fun fact, it's a promise. A promise that the show we're about to see will be authentic, rooted in tradition, and built with a deep respect for the cowboy way of life. Yellowstone has always been more than just a TV show. It's a reflection of legacy, loyalty, and the unbreakable bond between people and the land they fight to protect. It's about perseverance, self-sacrifice, and the kind of honor that never shouts, but always shows up when it's needed. And now with Four Sixes on the horizon, that timeless spirit is about to unfold in a brand new way. Bigger landscapes, deeper stories, heightened stakes. This isn't just a continuation, it's a bold expansion of a world we've come to love. This isn't just a new chapter, it's a whole new book. And if the storytelling remains as raw and real as we've come to expect from Taylor Sheridan, then Four Sixes won't just entertain us. It'll challenge us, move us, and maybe even change the way we see resilience, family, and purpose. The series is expected to drop in November 2025, and you better believe I'll be right there with you, episode after episode, unpacking every twist, every triumph, and every tear. If you're just as hyped as I am, and you want the inside scoop, weekly updates, character deep dives, behind-the-scenes reveals, and all the latest news across the Yellowstone universe, then go ahead and like, follow, and share this video. It does more good than you realize. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Whether you've been riding with me since the beginning, or this is your first time here, your support means everything. Every view, every comment, every conversation we have here fuels this journey, And I'm so grateful to be sharing this with a community that cares just as deeply as I do. There's so much more ahead, and I can't wait to keep exploring this incredible universe with you. And hey, if you're still in the zone, the video on your screen right now is one you don't want to miss. Trust me, it's got all the Yellowstone energy you're craving. I'll see you there.